Hey guys, tonight we have a lot to talk about. I'm just going to do one big what I've read, what I have not read, what I DNF'd, what I'm currently reading, and what I plan on reading. So this is just going to be a nice comprehensive video. It's going to be fun and chill. It's going to be long too, so grab something to drink, grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get started. Welcome back to That Cozy Book Nook, everyone. Hi, if you're new, my name is Tori. So let's jump into the very last book that I finished, and that is The Big Book of Exit Strategies, and this is by Jamal May. Guys, this is a poetry collection, and oh my god, I loved every single thing about this. So I mentioned this before when I was talking about Milk and Honey, that I don't really read a lot of poetry and I don't really know how to talk about it that much, but this one right here, I feel like I could go on for days. Man, almost every poem in here just gave me goosebumps. Wow. The poems in here, they cover a variety of topics and social issues. Most of them are related to race, but a lot of them are about family, community, and kind of the underlying thread for all of the poems in here have to do with Detroit, which is where I think Jamal May is from. One of my favorite poems in here is called The Gun Joke. And I'm actually going to read a couple of lines for you guys because this one, it's funny. She says, "How many people are shocked by this shooting, and the next, and the next, and the next." She doesn't mean funny as in funny, but funny as in blood soup tastes funny when you stir it in soil. Stop me if you haven't heard this one before. A young man, old man, teenage boy walks into an office, nightclub, daycare, church, and empties a magazine into a crowd of strangers, enemies, families, students. Ever hear the one about the shotgun? What do you call it when a shotgun tests a liquor store's bulletproof glass? What's the difference between a teenager with his hands in the air and a paper target charging at a cop? What do you call it when a man sets his own house on fire, takes up a sniper position, and waits for firefighters? Stop me if you haven't heard this one before. I'm telling you, this is just one of many amazing ones in here, and it goes on from there. And I mean, Jamal May, his voice just shines through on every single page, and you really feel everything just kind of hitting home, and everything especially that's happening in the world right now and in this country right now. This was powerful. It was a really, really great collection. I highly recommend you pick it up if you guys are even remotely interested in poetry. It's definitely worth a read. I love how strong his voice is, and you just get lost in that and get lost in what he's saying and the stories that he's wrapping up in these poems. It was incredible. I loved it. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. So my cat is trying to creep in here. I told him I was filming. Does he listen? No. So now I'm going to share with you a book that I did not finish. Now, I don't DNF books too often, and when I do, I never DNF books permanently. You know, I'll put a book down, but at some point, it could be months, it could be years later, but eventually I will end up going back to a book that I have put down. And so this one is no exception. I will eventually go back to this, but unfortunately, it won't be anytime soon. And that is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book in a series. I don't even really know what to say about this because so many people love it, and the hype is missing me. It's really missing me because this is sort of like a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. You see where I stopped, right? I stopped like right there. What is that? Page 151. It follows this 19-year-old girl named Freya. And Freya, she lives in this world that's bordered, like a human world, but it's bordered by this like wall. And on the other side is where fairies live, high fairies. It's the magic world, right? Okay. So Freya, she's a hunter. Book starts with her killing a wolf in the woods. Unbeknownst to her, the wolf is actually a fairy. And so the wolf's friend, Tamlin, comes to Freya's house and is like, "You killed my friend, come with me. It's the rules." So he takes Freya away to his realm. She goes and lives in his castle. And she gets to do whatever she wants. She eats whatever she wants. She can't leave. That's the only downside. She can't leave that world. She can leave his castle, but it's dangerous. Okay, and so at this point up into the story, I'm thinking, what's the problem? Because Tamlin is the beast that comes and takes her away from her family. But her family is crappy. They're ungrateful. Her older sister is honestly trash. And so Tamlin comes and takes her away from all that because she killed his friend. The logic is escaping me. And just kind of that stagnant feeling that I had towards the beginning of the book, like, what's the point? And like, what's the bad side, kind of, that's been creeping up on me this whole time. And I stopped at page 151 and it still hadn't hit me yet. So I had to put it down. It's very slow. None of the characters are doing anything for me. There is a threat that's looming, but it's really just taking a while. And it almost, at this point, it almost feels like an afterthought to everything that's already happened. So, you know, I can't finish it right now. I'm going to put it down. I can't do it. Freya, she can miss me with that one. The book that I'm currently reading right now is, as you can see, is putting a huge smile on my face. And that is Assassin's Apprentice. And this is by Robin Hobb. Oh my gosh. I am in love with this book right now. This is the first book in the Farseer trilogy. And it's the start of an epic fantasy series. And everything is just working for me right now. This first book, it's starting off a little slow because this is a huge world. It's a lot of world building going on. But the thing that I love most about it is that Robin Hobb just knows how to take her time building a world. So I feel like I'm just kind of exploring like every nook and cranny of like this world. And it follows this character Fitz, who is the bastard child of the crown prince. And the book starts when Fitz is being brought to Buckkeep, where the family rules, because you just can't have bastard kids running around. So Fitz is brought to Buckkeep. His story starts from there, and just, I love spending time with him, and as he's exploring this world and just making acquaintances, and man, it's just, I can't even tell you, it's really good. But just be warned that it is really slow, but I think in a book like this, it works because there is so much world building and so much character development, I think, happening, and you just feel Robin Hobb like taking her time and laying the groundwork for everything. It's doing a lot for me. I love the fact that we just kind of dove right into this and we're getting like Fitz's account of when he was younger, because he's obviously telling the story from an older standpoint and just kind of looking back on like how he came to this position and how his early years were. Oh, it's really good. So, fun fact, I've actually had this book for a really long time on my shelf. And I'm pretty good, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at, especially when it comes to fantasy and sci-fi, I know what I'm going to enjoy. This one was actually recommended to me because my friend was reading it. Actually, two of my friends were reading it and they were like, you need to read this. So I tried it. We won't talk about that. But books that I pick for myself when it comes to fantasy sci-fi, I know I'm gonna like it. So with this one, I have been wanting to read the Farseer trilogy for a long time and just finally dive into it. Just started, I'm sorry, I just had this far off gaze because my window is right there and it just started pouring out of nowhere. Anyway, I had been wanting to read Robin Hobb for a long time now, and so I just had this feeling that like reading about the Farseer trilogy, that I would enjoy it. So I did something a little crazy, guys. When I bought Assassin's Apprentice, I ended up buying the other two in the trilogy with it. So I got Royal Assassin and I got Assassin's Quest. So when I finished the first book, we're just moving right along. Makes things easy. No, but actually I am having such a good time reading this book and I can't wait to finish it. I am going out of town this week and I'm going to be gone all weekend, like through the weekend. So maybe I can finish it while I'm gone. We'll see, but I will definitely be done with this before August is over, and I'm excited. And then lastly, so I have two books that, one of them is not on my August TBR, but I have just been looking at it more and more on my shelf and thinking, wow, I want to read these sooner rather than later. And that is Company Town, and this is by Madeline Ashby, and it's set in this oil rig town called Company Town. And so Company Town is run by this wealthy Byzantine family, or Byzantine family, but the main character is this girl named Hua. And Hua works in the oil rig, but she's actually one of the last people, or one of the only people who is not biomedically engineered. And so that already kind of makes her like this outsider, that she's still like this all-natural person. And so one day, the family that owns the oil rig comes under threat from some outside forces, and they want to bring in Hua to train their daughter in like self-defense and stuff like that. But everything is not as simple as it seems, and Company Town ends up, coming into danger. And so Hua has this decision whether she should just save herself, use the skills that she has and the fact that she's still all natural to save herself, or save a town that potentially cannot be saved. So it sounds really unique and just really, I'm holding it upside down. It sounds really unique and interesting, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. But this has been, I've been staring at this for a while and I'm just like, I think it's time. And then lastly, I'm really going off track. My August TBR consisted of Assassin's Apprentice and The Little Paris Bookshop, Captive Prince by C.S. Pacat. So I'm really going off the rails right now. But I'm having a good time. So one of the last books that I probably will try to get to before August is over, after Company Town, if I get to that, is Red Queen, and this is by Christina Henry. This is one of the books that I was trying to get to back like in June, like a while ago, and just never got around to it. This is the sequel to Alice, and it's just a really, 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 really dark take on Alice in Wonderland. And like, if you guys saw my review for Alice, I said that I actually really loved it up until like the last 15 pages, and then we just started doing like that. Hopefully this will make up for the first book, because the first book ended like in a way where you just knew that there was going to be a second one, and so I feel like this is going to pick up right where the first one left off. So we shall see. Those are my plans. Those are the books that have been on my reading list for a while. So yeah, we'll see what happens, and I hope you guys are enjoying your reading, and I hope your August is going great. If you do anything, pick up this book and pick up the Big Book of Exit Strategies. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, as always. And yeah, until next time, stay cozy. Take care, guys.